happened last time that this cross occurred? Give your grandma a goodnight kiss right on the lips, because after she finds out what this means, her brittle bones might shatter like a moon boy's hopes and dreams. This is gigantic, and if that's not enough, an even more insane explosive indicator is only days away from firing. And do you know what happens when it does? Hold on tight, because this may get crazier than you could ever imagine. After what feels like a year of getting straight ripped and dipped by the baby bears, what I'm about to show you will put a glimmer in your eye and a twinkle in your thighs. The tides are changing, and this may be the most explosive summer since the dinosaurs exploded 1 trillion years ago. I'm your host, Skip Skidoo, and if you believe that a massive relief rally is coming for the crypto markets, then I have some good news for you. So you get the new channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And as well, if you guys are interested in any bonuses or deals, make sure to check out all of the offers below. And most importantly, our pool as of today has actually reached basically peak ROI levels in terms of saturation, to where the rewards will be absolutely exquisite and consistent. And as well, in addition to that, we do have upcoming news Friday for more details about the Ape Society token drop. But basically, all you need to know for now is that if you're delegated to the TSC stake pool, then you will be eligible for the free Ape Society tokens. You'll be receiving normal ADA rewards and as well these Ape Society tokens for roughly about 6 months or 35 epochs. Unbelievable, as Bitcoin is literally days away from confirming a bullish MACD 3-day cross. This is gigantic, and we haven't seen this in months. In fact, the last time we saw this cross really take shape was back at the very end of January, again, where we got like a nice 50% rally for Bitcoin. And as well, for ADA, something even bigger is going on. We actually just today confirmed this MACD bullish cross on the 3-day chart, leading into what will most likely be what you can see here, this momentum shifting on the even more important weekly chart. You see that right here. And this is a pretty big swing. In fact, for ADA, back at the end or the beginning of March 2022, we really saw this start to bottom out, where we saw momentum shift a little bit. But just like Bitcoin, it was more of a fake out there. And we see that kind of time and time again. When things get really crazy one way or the other, you know, they get too pumpy or too dumpy, usually the markets kind of have to equalize. And basically what that means is there are little fake out pumps and dumps along the way before actual momentum starts to increase. And what we're seeing here with Bitcoin and Cardano, I believe, Ethereum, a lot of these top altcoins, pretty much the entire crypto market, but specifically Cardano is kind of showing it first, or ADA is actually showing this first. It is a more volatile, it seems to be a little more volatile. I personally actually like trading it a lot more than most other coins because it moves a lot, right? It goes up and down a lot. So it's a lot more fun to trade. The point is, we start to see these exaggerated moves, and I think that Cardano is absolutely showing and signaling for the rest of the market as well. And with this 3-day cross, very good. We see the first hint of green momentum on the MACD for the last few months on this 3-day chart, but more specifically, like I just said, the weekly looks really good. And really, breaking that 80-cent level is going to be massive. So I think we have a chance to run up to that 80-cent level, right around 78, 79, over the next week, even week or 2 weeks. However, guys, there's a fundamental reason for this as well, and I'm sure many of you are aware of the Vassal hard fork. You can see the end of June, and we've seen, if you look at this chart, you see one thing, and again, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this as well, that towards these upgrades, we see, what do you see where all of these upgrades were? Price is usually a lot higher than it was before, right? You see, this is basically the tippy top in September 2021. And then we had in March 2021, a very nice, also, before this, it was the top also. And same thing for here, Shelly in 2020. So timing-wise, I think this is actually really good for the entire market. Timing-wise, this could be insanely good for the altcoin market and Cardano specifically, or ADA specifically. So again, you know, you see these run-ups, and usually by the time these upgrades actually happen, price is a little bit higher than it was before this upgrade happened, right, in the time leading up to that upgrade. So again, fundamental reason for this, I mean, again, the market has been dumped on for, Cardano topped out back at the very beginning of September. Bitcoin topped out pretty much right in the middle or the beginning of November. So again, I think most likely this will be a relief rally, but it looks as though it could turn, you know, very quickly into a strong relief rally where a lot of people are going to feel some disbelief and a lot of people are going to get blindsided by this move, as many people are just extremely bearish in this market. But as well, again, we see Bitcoin kind of gearing up out for the same thing here. On this 3-day chart, the same cross is actually, the tips are like this close. They're about to touch. So again, very big for that, for Bitcoin. Again, that's very important for the entire market. And equally as exciting, we see the stock market, again, on the weekly chart really starting to potentially reverse as well. We see this bullish MACD cross on the 3-day for the stock market as well. The exact same thing we saw with Cardano and we're about to see with Bitcoin. And on the weekly chart, again, we see this momentum swinging to the upside over the next couple of weeks. Again, this could be a full kind of validation or a full swing of this momentum. And as well, something very important we're going to be talking about in a second here that will lead into that. But also what we see is the DXY potentially weakening, and that's something we've been following for days. You can see here, for weeks and months, or years actually, but underneath this 21-day moving average, again, a second day of a slight rejection right here, which you've been watching very closely. On the 1-day chart, the MACD is potentially signaling that a move to the upside is coming. However, when we look on the 3-day or even weekly chart, it paints a much different story. On the 3-day chart, yes, we got this bearish cross we've been talking about, and the momentum has been swinging to the downside on the 3-day. But most importantly, remember, the longer the time frame, the more substantial. Nobody cares about the 1-minute chart. A lot of people care about the 1-day chart, but everyone cares about like the weekly and the monthly charts, right? The longer the time frame, the more substantial. And on this weekly chart, as we've been talking about for the past 4 weeks, this momentum has been slowing down for the DXY, and it risks setting a bearish cross, the exact opposite of what Bitcoin, Cardano, the stock market, or the SPX are doing. So this, again, there are a lot of things showing that this is shaping up to be a relief over this next month, over the next couple of weeks. That could be for multiple months. So I'm not saying that the bear market is completely over. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, there's a very strong case to be made that over the next couple of months, we could see extreme relief throughout these markets, which could then be preceded by further dumpiness and, playing out of the cycle more. However, again, there are opportunities in bear markets. There are opportunities in downtrends. And what I'm saying is this looks to be potentially a very strong opportunity coming up here. And one thing I wanted to cover as well is that the Wall Street sends Bitcoin price to about 30K as latest US dollar uptick fails, just like what we talked about with the DXY there, so we're not going to be talking about that too much. But this is very important here, is that at the time of writing, stocks were flat with 48 hours still to go until the US CPI readout, laying out the possible reactions from BTC USD. Plan C here identified between 8 and 8.3% is having a neutral effect, but a less than 8% increase on the CPI or CPI print, markets could absolutely go bullish here. If it's higher than 8.3%, markets could, dump, obviously. And if it's in between 8 and 8.3, it's not really, it's kind of just expected. So really nothing could happen. But again, imagine if we see this trend continue and we see an 8% or less, or pretty much less than an 8% CPI print. That could, again, very much pump these markets here. And this is also very important here. So the third largest currency in the world is falling off of the cliff versus the USD, which is the Japanese yen. Make no mistake, this is the fate awaiting every fiat currency versus USD, and eventually the fate of the USD versus Bitcoin. So basically what he's saying here is that most likely the last fiat currency to fall is USD, probably because it's pegged to the petrodollar, or because it's the world reserve currency. But then after that, Bitcoin will eventually take over fiat. And again, that's my belief. That's why I've been in crypto for like the last 6 years. It's why it's so enticing and interesting, and why I've been so invested in it. I'm here to make money, but I also fully believe everything that the Bitcoin maxis or the Bitcoin proponents have been teaching for years now. I absolutely agree with it. I fully believe it. I don't think fiat currency is a good option. I think I think fiat is a scam. Absolutely. I mean, it literally is. It's actually just monopoly money. But with that, again, so many different signs showing up where we are right now, if we take a step back, dumpage. We've seen massive dumpage across these markets with Bitcoin, ADA, everything. ADA's down like 80% from all-time highs. It was down about 87%. It's still down 80%. So there is room to run. That's what's exciting here. We've been dumping for like 7 or 8 months, and we've traded sideways for Bitcoin a lot of the time. You see, really Bitcoin's been macro sideways for a while, but ADA's been, sideways for a little bit, mainly just dumping, but there is room for pumping. And again, that's what we're seeing. ADA's up about a couple of percent today, around 7 or 8%. The DXY looks as though it might be topping out. Exactly where it's topped out in the past, right around this 103, 104 level. And it looks as though this move could push us below 100 or about 99 on the DXY. Again, down to this 21-day moving average around 99.7. Again, at which point we have to reevaluate to see if it looks strong or weak there. If it does get there, still way too early to tell that. However, there are absolutely bullish signs for a relief rally right now. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. If you're interested in buying ADA, buying Bitcoin, getting Ethereum, any of these coins, make sure to take advantage of the bonuses below. The bonuses popping up on the screen. They're deposit bonuses for when you deposit to buy these altcoins. And as well, if you are interested in receiving ADA staking rewards, in addition to Ape Society tokens for the next roughly 35 epochs, we're only one of a few pools that were selected to do this, so it's very interesting. Very good opportunity as well. Instructions are popping up on the screen, and there's a quick little 2-minute tutorial. It's very easy. Somebody asked in the comments yesterday if like the pool would explode or if it would go down, would you lose your ADA? No, none of that is a risk, right? You keep all of your ADA in your wallet. So pretty much if you're holding ADA, it doesn't make sense to not stake it and earn free rewards, help validate the network, and just be part of a staking pool. Without any further ado, that's it for me.